morning. It's Monday after a 4-day weekend that I had. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I'm really struggling with coming to grips with the fact that I'm actually going to work today. I feel I'm not tired per se, I just feel very unmotivated right now. And I feel bad for saying that, but that is like the truth of what I'm feeling. And I think it's because when you have 4 days to just allow yourself to rest is when you realize how tired you are, and how worn out you are. And I think I'm just needing a little bit more than 4 days off to get my motivation back. But nevertheless, I have to go to work today, so we're just gonna have to come to terms with that. I'm hoping that once I get in the classroom and like get in the groove of things, like this feeling of like I just want to be at home laying down will get past me. I did not do anything extraordinary over the weekend. I just did a bunch of stuff that I needed to get done. I got a new manicure on Friday, which I would show you right now, but I've shown it on Instagram and the lighting is not great. And then I had a birthday dinner for my cousin on Friday evening. Saturday, I don't even remember what I did on Saturday, but it wasn't anything special. And it was raining like this whole weekend, so I pretty much, over the course of the weekend, I know I had a manicure. I went and had a birthday dinner with my cousin. I got a nice pedicure that I needed. I ran some errands. I worked out. Did some work for like YouTube stuff, and didn't do any schoolwork, and spent a lot of time just resting. I saw 2 movies. I watched Bohemian Rhapsody, which I really liked. I didn't think I was gonna like it, or well, it's not that I thought I wasn't gonna like it. I just didn't know if I would be interested when it came out, because I know some songs by Queen, but I don't know a lot about the band. So I saw that, and then I also watched The Hate You Give, which was not the feel-good movie of the year, but it's still good nonetheless. And took Genesis to the vet just for a follow-up. Her health, like some of the issues that I was concerned with her liver levels and things like that, have gotten better. And we're just trying out different medications to manage some of the arthritis and leg issues that she has. But overall, she's doing well for a woman of her age. And that's really it. Today, I can't remember if we're going to be giving them the math interim assessment today or tomorrow, but we're going to be working through it with them. So I'm going to be doing that either today or tomorrow. And then just trying to get back on track with Wonders. I think last week was just frustrating because it felt very unstructured. Like days were just out of the norm. So I didn't get nowhere near as much done as I wanted to. California drivers. And the kids were out of sorts because they knew Valentine's Day was coming and it was going to be a long weekend. And I think that's what really just made for a short week, but a very challenging week. So here I am on my way to work. It's cold. So that is why I have this very haphazardly thrown on blanket scarf. And I might have to walk around in my classroom in my socks today because my baby toe on my right foot is really acting up. I don't know what's wrong with it. It feels as if like skin is missing from the toe, or it's scratched really bad, but anything touching it hurts. So these little boots that I have on might be coming off, and I might be putting some flip-flops on. But anywho, that's it, you guys. I don't have much to say. If it were up to me, I'd be in the bed right now. It just felt so nice for 4 days to just not be on a rigid schedule and not feel like pressure to do anything. And I think it was just so nice that I got spoiled that quickly that now I'm struggling to accept the fact that that time is over. So I'm not going to ramble, so I'm not going to say anything else. And I will check in with you guys at some point later on today, I'm sure, and update you on how my day's gone. So I will talk to you then. Hello guys, it is 12:24 on Wednesday. I am enjoying the last few minutes of my lunch. I did not finish vlogging yesterday because I just totally forgot. you didn't miss too much of anything. I survived the day. I know I started the day just like so sad that I couldn't just lay on my couch all day, but I got through the day and it was just fine. And then today is Wednesday. We have not really gotten much done because our schedule has been a little bit altered with PE, because at any moment it's gonna rain, and so that means our regular schedule for PE and all of that was changed a little bit. So the most I've gotten done today is we had a round of guided reading earlier this morning. I showed my kids the sample of the Bold Black Women project, so they are working on that. When I have a chance to like pull out the resources that I made, maybe I'll show it to you. It is super simple, and I might just pull it up on my drive right now. It's super simple by design. I don't really want it to be this elaborate project that stresses the kids out too much, but at the same time, I do want them to practice researching and putting together a little Google presentation. So it's only 4 slides total. I put a copy or a sample of mine on Google Classroom so they have access to it. The biggest struggle they had so far is just learning how to start a Google presentation by going into their drive. That was one of those moments where I just forget that I teach little kids, and there's a very high likelihood that none of them have made a Google presentation before. So that was the biggest thing, but they are definitely excited about it, and I told them yesterday that I was excited that they were so excited. So essentially what I did was I just copied all the pages from the little leader's book on the copy machine. I caught them up in number order, and I just pulled from the back of the stack because the names at the front were names that I've already read to them about. So I wanted them to get people we hadn't quite heard anything about just yet. And so I gave them this page. I also let them know that some of these women that I'm giving to some of the students, I have additional resources on them. Like I have a couple of books about Rosa Parks. I happen to have a book in my class right now about Nina Simone. And so I let them know that there's some people that I do have some extra books about and some that I don't, but I let them know that they're also free to go to our school library. If their parents want to take them out to the public library and get more resources, that's fine. But this is not a project I intend for them to be really working on at home. So we got into that a little bit more today, and then we are in the very early stages of the next learning block of wonders. The comprehension skill this time around is author's point of view, and for right now I cannot remember what the vocabulary skill is, but today we are reading part 1 of the first, or part 1 of the long read. So with wonders, there's always a shorter read in their reading writing workshop book, and then there's a second read, or a second story I should say, in their literature anthology, and it's just a little bit longer. And so I always break that up into 2 parts. So we're reading the first part today, practicing author's point of view, and then we also took a listening test. I'm trying something new with the listening test, because listening and interpreting is the district's, I want to say it's the district's lowest scoring category overall, because it is just difficult for kids. So after meeting with one of the people from our professional development last week or 2 weeks ago, what I'm trying with my class now is just teaching them that when you're taking those tests, listen to the passage as many times as you feel you need to, but most importantly, while you're listening, definitely start taking some notes. So we've just been practicing the past 2 days with listening to something and then taking notes on what we've heard so that we can use those notes to take the listening test. So with the listening test I gave them today, it's one of the ones that I have created. I don't remember if I did this one or it was a combination of me and a friend of mine, but we just create them using it's like a little read aloud section at the beginning of every Wonders block. So this one I altered a little bit. They're only usually about 5 questions. So this one was titled All About Elections, because that's the title of the passage that I read out loud to them. There's 4 questions. So the first question asks, which statement from the story best shows the reader that this passage is nonfiction or informational text? 2, how are our lives affected by the people we vote for? 3, what information about voting does the author give us? 4, what do candidates do? And then 5, this was added in because this was something we weren't putting in our listening test before. Just having kids listen to information and then being able to examine different graphics or diagrams and know which diagram actually goes with the information that was presented. So this question says, place a check mark above the diagram that would be helpful to a person if they were voting for president for the first time. So this one's pretty small, but the title says how to become president of the United States. And this one is how to vote on election day. So what I did, and I have to talk really fast, is I read the passage out loud to them 2 times, kind of gave them some tips on how I would take notes. So I said, since this is a new skill for you guys, I would just listen to the passage 1 time to listen for notes that I might take for question number 1, then a second time listening for notes I might need for question number 2, then the 3rd time for question number 3, and so on, until you start getting to the place where you're a little bit more equipped to take notes. So they did that. I read it to them 2 times, and then they listened to it however many more times they needed to, and they were taking notes along the way, and then they took the test. I did show them the questions ahead of time. I had them projected so they knew what they were listening for. And then after they took the test and I collected it, we went over the answers together. And then I've just started reading the first section of this longer story in Wonders. And then we went to lunch. That's about as far as I got. At the end of, or after lunch, I'm getting ready to go pick them up now. I'm gonna read to them and then finish the first half of this story from Wonders, then do math. Then we need to get some Charlotte's Web done because I want to incorporate that into open house, and then we'll go from there. So I gotta run. Lunch is over. Talk to you later. I'm not really sure what's going on, but my iPad just stopped recording. So, but yesterday I decided to just give myself a break from vlogging and just kind of try to quiet my mind and do as little talking and verbalizing as possible, just to kind of get my mind right, I guess. So I didn't vlog yesterday, which is kind of unfortunate because a very rare thing happened in my neighborhood in Southern California. It snowed for the briefest of moments. Like, it's been really cold here for us. Like, the 30s is cold. It is like freezing for us, and to have a high of 56 is just ridiculous. It's like we're in an Arctic snap if it gets that cold and stays that cold. So yesterday it got cold enough to where it snowed for a very brief period of time. Like, it wasn't even long enough for the snow to stick to the ground. It melted by the time it hit the ground, and that would have been nice to vlog. I really didn't take my kids outside in it because it started to snow when we were going to lunch, and the cafeteria ladies took them out to enjoy it for a few minutes. And in all honesty, I was freezing cold. I had students that were not properly dressed to even be outside in the rain, let alone in the snow. And we really had to review for a math test that they're taking today. And I just don't have the kind of class this year that can get really excited about something like that and then find a way to calm down. So I was kind of like the Wicked Witch of 3rd grade, and I didn't take them out for any extra time. But nobody else did at my school. Jenny took her class out, but even then she only took them out to kind of see it, but not to be actually in it. So that would have been nice if I could have caught that on camera, but I didn't. So yeah, this week it's been difficult, and I am just comforted in knowing that people responded on Instagram and said that they're pretty much in the same boat, and almost everyone that's responded, including myself, had a shortened work week. So you would think that we'd have a little bit more energy because we've worked one less day, but it's almost the opposite, that we're all like exceptionally tired despite the fact that we had an extra day. So this morning I pulled it together. I made it to working out, which helped. I didn't go yesterday. I ended up paying $12 for not showing up to my class. That's how unmotivated I was, that I was willing to pay $12 to not show up. But I got that done, so I feel good about that. Today is just going to be hectic because Fridays always are. They have a math test, they have PE, they have library, and then we'll try and squeeze in some Wonders in there if we can, but I'm not anticipating that we will. Well, I guess it's exciting, or the other development is that I just found out my interview for transfers is on Monday. It's a panel interview. I put down 3 schools in total. 2 middle schools and 1 elementary school. So I'm assuming it's going to be all 3 of them at the same time. So last night I chose to send them a copy of my resume so they can kind of see some of the things I've done at the different school sites I've been at, as well as a sample of a 5th grade math video that I made and a sample of a 3rd grade math video that I made, and just let them know this was something that I created to help my students and their parents be able to access Common Core math strategies and get support at home. So this weekend I kind of have to like mentally prepare for that interview. Luckily where I'm at, like the interviews aren't super stressful, but it's still an interview. So that's really it. I don't like feeling the way that I felt this week, but it's just real. So it's Friday. I'm going to try and continue to pick my spirits up now that I managed to exercise, and that helped my, mental state. I'm going to try and perk it up a little bit more with the Friday treat to Starbucks. This might be my new Friday tradition. I got a drink and a breakfast sandwich, so I'm living big today. Mostly because I didn't have any breakfast at home, so there's that. But so I'm getting my Starbucks, and I think that's pretty much all that I have to say at the moment. So if you're one of the people that responded, okay, hold on, I gotta concentrate here. If you're one of the people that responded to my Instagram, there's a lot going on in this parking lot right now, you guys. There's pedestrians, there's people making moves, that responded to my Instagram post, and you're struggling. I hope that this day is better for you and that we have a better week tomorrow, or a better week next week. So gotta go get my stuff, and I will be talking to you. You guys remember that Friday a couple weeks ago where I said no one was at Starbucks, and I was like freaked out by it because it was eerily silent? Well, that didn't happen today. It is jam-packed in there, and people look agitated and frustrated. Luckily, I didn't have to wait too long because I, on Fridays, put in my mobile order way in advance just because I know. So I'm really proud of myself right now. But anyway, just thought I'd let you guys know that. I will talk to you guys later.
Next one. Number 12, I got 2/3. I got 1/2. 2/3. I got 1 out of 4. Wait, so 1/4? Yeah, I got. Okay. It's not the same. No, he said yes. I got 8. No. Yeah, but what's the bottom one? Right here? I wasn't guessing. Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't guessing. This would be yes if I were guessing. No, I'm not saying that you're guessing. This is supposed to be. I'm not saying that.
What number are you guys on?
13.
Or have you count, like, you just need to share?
Number 13. Happy face. I got no, yes. No, 15. then I got I got 8 peaches. 4 peaches.
Who's 2?
You did it right.
Who's 1? Oh, you should be starting. What did you get?
I got 8.
You got what? 3?
I got yeah. I think she didn't write the answer in her explanation.
So you need to look at your work and figure out what your answer is going to be.
I got 4. I got 4.
So that's a sad face.
Oh,
No, that's a sad face. In a different place. I'm in Liza's room. I meant to film earlier. I'm filming on my phone, which I hate to do because I don't know where to look, as I always say. But I had to come visit Liza because I needed her to film some footage of me for a reason I cannot tell you yet. I also have candy in my mouth, if you're wondering what that is. But we ended up talking to her principal for a very long time because, as you know, her school is one of the schools I put on my transfer list. And so we were just chatting with him. And it ended up being a lot more entertaining than what I expected it to be. But look at her classroom. Isn't it nice? There she is.
Wait, am I on there?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I missed you guys.
Do you want to tell them how your year's going?
Oh, my goodness.
And how sad you are that I don't work with you anymore?
Which we decide. Are you going to tell them that you probably won't be working here?
Yeah, and it's not looking good for me to be able to come here next year because I only want to teach upper grade. And there's pretty much no spots available for me. And there's a first grade spot. Wait a minute.
I think you'll do. What's wrong?
I just want to see something really quick. Oh, you have this book.
Yeah.
I just saw this book in my school library today, and I grabbed
Did you check it out?
I checked it out. I want to buy it. Have you read something?
I've read
from it?
some. They're very short summaries and descriptions about all kinds of people. It's like this. And kids love opening it up and just saying, huh.
And she had to
That's
teach
nice to
one of her
use.
kids that not all black people have dark skin because she had a student that was convinced that he was looking at somebody that was not black because he was
Yes.
fair skinned.
Yes.
But I want to buy that book. I just haven't bought it yet, and I'm
Yeah.
trying not to buy more books because.
She's a book freak. She loves buying books. That's where all her money goes.
But yeah, I don't know that we'll be working together next year because there's no spots. And then the challenge becomes like, if I transfer somewhere next year, am I really going to want to transfer again? But it's just so tempting because we really just have a good time teaching.
So what I'm hoping is maybe she'll transfer to somewhere and then like hate it again and then be miserable and then she'll transfer back. And
What
be
a
happy
what a
with
good
us.
friend she is. She's hoping for my misery next year.
Misery. Then we can be together again and then it'll just have taken you a long time to get to where we were before. But she, you know, chatted with my principal. She really likes him. If you're watching.
Which I now know that you have.
That's right. Because you reenacted everything.
He just did an impersonation of me vlogging, which was,
pretty accurate.
I mean, it was pretty, I'm not mad at it.
They're not mad at it. So, yeah, it would be great if she was here, but the
Do you want to
timing is
tell him
just-
how your year's been going?
My year is going great.
She just said she just has such good kids.
I love my kids. I really think 4th grade is where it's at. Because my 4th graders last year, I loved my kids last year, and I still love them when I see them, but they've turned into 5th graders.
But you
A little
loved
more
5th grade
sass.
when you
I
taught it.
did, but I didn't realize how wonderful 4th grade is because they're so sweet. They're so sweet, and they're still independent, and they will really listen to you. And my classes,
Maybe.
they're just. If my class were to be watching this, I
Mrs.
literally.
Shu loves you.
I literally get sad. You know, by this point in the year, like, oh my God, 3 months left. I just can't wait till summer. Like, I will be really sad.
No,
when
but you
it's time
got
for
sad in
summer.
5th grade too.
I know, but this is really, really sad. I love my kids so much.
I'm very impressed. Is this where you sit all the time?
This is my favorite chair that he's
Because the principal swears she doesn't teach because every time he comes in to like observe, she's in a seated position.
Always. Like today I was changing seats, so I was saying, okay, no, you can't sit there. You try switching there, and then in he comes. And I'm like, and here I am again. My
So
favorite chair.
he's not certain if she's teaching yet.
So now at this point, I'm just like this when he comes in. 'Cause if you think I don't teach, then heck, I'm just
I
gonna
won't
be on my
teach.
phone on Instagram all day.
Who's that on the wall?
Who? The host from Supermarket Sweep. Did you guys watch Supermarket Sweep? I'm sure there are some people. Did you watch Supermarket Sweep?
I watched every once in a while. Darren Nakakihara was a contestant on
As
Supermarkets.
was I. And
You were?
Yes.
I
won money on that show. Are you joking?
I need to find that video.
That is the uncle of one of my students. And so when I said it at back to school night that I've been on Supermarket
He looks
Sweep.
so 90s.
He's so
Look at this guy.
nice. He gave me some money from winning. No, not like from winning on the game show. I was on there with Amanda. We did such a good job.
Amanda.
Remember Amanda?
I do. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Mons.
Not that she ever watches.
She might.
But yeah, so it's Friday. We're getting ready to leave.
It's freaking 5:45.
It's cold. It's 5:45. I should be home by now. This is Liza. I don't think I'll be working with her next year.
Yeah, you will not be. Unless
It's kind of
something
sad.
amazing happens.
And yeah, unless something strange happens. All right, guys, it is about 6:15. I am going to be closing out the vlog here in just a second. So I left school today. I can't even remember. I didn't vlog at all during the school day. I think the last time I vlogged was me getting my Starbucks this morning. As far as today was concerned, they pretty much took a math test, went to PE, and that was really it. I didn't end up getting to any sort of wonders or language arts or anything else because the math test took a while. Not just the math test itself, but we had to go over their homework, which was the review test, make sure they didn't have any questions, did some sample problems that they needed to see, and then they took their math test. And that really consumed most of the day besides things like recess, lunch, and library. And then we also got to listen to some Charlotte's Web. So we did get that done. And then I left school just before 4 o'clock. I had to go to Liza's school, which is about 10 minutes from my school, because I needed her to film some footage of something for me. I wish I could tell you why, but I can't, but I needed her to film me. And I went there and kind of hung out with her and talked to her principal for a little bit, because that school is one of the schools that I put on my transfer request form. The likelihood of me being able to transfer there is very minimal, because I only want to teach upper elementary if I were to go back to an elementary school, and they currently don't really have any openings that will be coming up in the upcoming school year that are either 4th or 5th grade. So that's not looking like that's going to happen. Plus, I really do think that the time has come for me to go to middle school. Like, I really think it's just time. So, of course, I would love to work with Liza at the same site, and this administrator is someone... Hold on, Genesis just fell. Let me help her out. Okay. She likes to lay by the fire, and sometimes she just misjudges her little jump, and that's what just happened. This administrator is someone that I would like to work for. He's very energetic, very forward-thinking. I think just gets the best out of people, has a very good reputation, and he's actually the person that interviewed me for this district at a job share, or not a job share, at a job fair. So he was kind of like my first experience with trying to get a job with the district. So it's not looking good. So he will be at the interview on Monday, but at that point it's really just like a formality, like a courtesy that he's showing up because he doesn't really have what I'm looking for at a school site. And then we talked to him for a minute, and then we did the filming that I needed to get filmed, and we stopped by Liza's classroom. I took some footage of it. I'm not sure if I'll include it because it was on my iPhone, and I just always feel so awkward filming on my iPhone because I feel like I'm looking in the wrong direction. But I filmed a little bit in Liza's classroom so that you guys could see her classroom and all of that. If I can edit it properly, I will include it. If I can't, I won't. I'm sure I'll include something because I'm sure some of you would like to see Liza and her crazy self. And now I'm here at home with 2 dogs that are going through it. I'm just looking at Genesis because she needs her nose wiped, so hold that thought. Lay down. So yeah, so I went to her classroom and then I came home. So as far as the week, this truly was a very difficult week. I don't know why. I was telling Peggy and Jenny, my teammates, I don't know if it's just pure burnout, like maybe I'm just burnt out. If it's because my hormones are out of whack, because I do have fibroids, but I'm also taking like a daily women's vitamin, but then I also started taking prenatal vitamins just because I want my nails to grow, not because I'm expecting or trying to be expecting. And I don't know if the combination of those vitamins are doing something. I don't know if it's just mental exhaustion because I have quite a few things that I need to take care of in the immediate future, or what it is. But it just was a difficult week, despite the fact that it was a short week. Like, I got plenty of rest over the weekend. It was a shortened week, so you would think that I just would have had a little bit more energy this week, but the struggle was real this week. So I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I exercised this morning because that did help. And I'm just looking forward to kind of maybe like resetting over the weekend and having a more energetic, lively, motivated week next week, which I should, because it's going to kick off with me having this interview, and just the prospect of like change for next year might be motivating for me. So that is pretty much it. I don't have much to say. I'm gonna put on some pajamas, eat some leftover Blue Apron from last night, which was very tasty, and then just probably relax for the rest of the night. So it's an exciting Friday night. But if you liked this vlog, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do that. If you don't follow me on Instagram, head over there as well. For any of you that are looking for my outfits of the day, I think for the time being, I am gonna just keep them on Instagram for now, because it's less footage that I need to edit into the videos. But yeah, I hope you guys had a great week, and I will talk to you in the next vlog. Good night.